Hey guys, Sensei Jamie here. I just wanted to go over just for a few minutes to talk to you guys about getting ready to fight. Your actual stance, where your hands should be, where your feet should be, how your body should feel when you're getting ready to spar or get into a fight. So if I'm gonna be using my karate stance, say I'm doing my point fighting, or this is how I naturally stand for all types, whether I'm fighting in MMA, kickboxing, and karate, I always use this stance and it always works out for me fine. So in the karate stance, where you want to kind of have a side profile in your karate stance. What that does is that limit the targets that, people can try to hit me. If I'm like here, it only gives like, a side. And my hands, for the most part, are in front of me, so all I have to do is just move them around. If I stood more square and I'm here almost like a boxer stance, which is great for boxing, which is great for kickboxing, because those techniques come around, hit the body from side to side, so it's easy to block. The harder techniques to block are like our side kicks, our reverse punches. Those punches that come straight are a lot harder to block if I use that boxing stance, when I'm trying to do martial arts. It's the kicks that are usually the difference. If you have somebody that's throwing kicks while you're fighting, you want to make sure you're in a bladed stance or a side profile stance, so that way you can see everything coming and you have a little bit of target in the middle. So they're going to try to throw a lot of stuff off to the side. You don't want to be just like this the whole time, because this just gives you your target. You're just a big target for them. So you want to make sure that, for karate, we're in our bladed stance and I'm comfortable. So what I most of the time when I see people, when they get in this stance and they think they're comfortable, they bring their feet out like this. And sometimes I have to ask the kid, I'm like, are you comfortable? Yeah, I'm good, I'm just hanging out. We'll try to move. And when they try to move from here, it's always adjust first and then move. Well, if you have to adjust, then that means you weren't really in your natural stance, okay? That's also true when it comes to kicks, where I see a lot of times people are like, yeah, I'm in my comfortable stance, I can throw all my techniques from here, and then we'll say, okay, throw a front kick. Well, the first thing they gotta do is adjust to a comfortable position and throw their kick. So a lot of times what they do, they'll be here, they always slide this foot up, and then throw their front leg roundhouse kick or whatever kick. If you have to do that, then you weren't truly in your natural stance. So what I mean by natural stance is you want to try to bring your feet together just a little bit. They should be shoulder, not past your shoulder, but about the same as your shoulders, because that is how you are designed to walk. So when we walk, I walk this way. My legs are open. They're about shoulder width apart. They're not past that. You can't walk like this. Looks funny, right? So you want to make sure you have about that same movement, because that is the same movement that we're going to be using, which is basically walking back and forth, fighting someone sideways. That's why the most advanced fighters, they can bring their feet out just a little bit, but that's because they already understand what they're supposed to be doing when it comes to moving back and forth, moving out of the way. So neutral side stance here. I just want to be as comfortable as possible. How I check this is just throw that front kick. If I can throw a kick without adjusting my back foot, then I'm comfortable. If my foot is here and somebody says, all right, throw that front kick. If I have to adjust, I wasn't in that stance. Whatever you adjust it to is actually the stance that you should be fighting, because we don't want to adjust to throw a basic front kick. So that's enough with the feet. Now, where our hands should be. Okay, the first hand, I like to call this my guide hand. A lot of people like to call it check hand. This hand here is just the same as if I'm boxing, it'll be my jab or my lead hand that's ready to fight. Or if I'm kickboxing, it's my hand that I'm using to study my distance and use it, my focus hand. So we use the same concept here. The reason why is this kind of helps me when I start learning my techniques on gauging how close I need to be to hit somebody, okay? So remember with karate is you want to kind of think how far away I need to be to hit somebody, not how close I need to hit somebody. Because when we think how close we need to be, sometimes we go too close, and we could have hit them when we were further away. And the more further away you are, the better advantage you have of following up or getting away from their follow-up. So that's what we want to try to think, you know. So I'm here, got my guide hand in front, my backhand. A good spot for it could be over your heart or even up a little bit to block your chin. Because when I'm doing techniques and somebody's coming after me in karate, we like to go 2 up or 1 up, 1 down. Okay, we never want both hands on both levels. Somebody go for my head, I bring my hands up, I'm gonna get hit lower. If somebody tries to kick my stomach, I bring my hands both down, I'm gonna get kicked in the head. So in karate, we try to go 1 up. If my front hand has to go down, my backhand has to come up, and vice versa. If I'm fighting and my front hand has to come up, my backhand is going to come down, so that way I can parry kicks, watch out for that follow-up, and block this way. So that's why we kind of want them about here for the advanced. Now for the newer students, beginners, this is how I like to break it down. Beginners, we bring our hands straight up because we're learning what this block should feel like, how strong that should be, and that my shield should be able to protect me. My backhand, I see a lot of people put it underneath their arm. That's not where you should be resting it. The only reason why we put our hands underneath our arm, because that gives us the natural bend on where this hand should be. That's why the hand goes there. It's not so I could rest my arm on my hand. It's just to show how far my front hand should be. So when I'm here, what I like to do is make a fist and put that hand right on top. It's the same as that when we do our reinforced techniques in our kata. That's kind of where I want to gauge at for our beginners, because you're just going to learn how to get your hands up. You're going to notice when you see black belts and good fighters and they move their hands all around, you know, they're like, I'm moving my hands around, I'm a black belt, I'm a black belt. A good kick comes, white belt. Always. Watch. They'll be fighting quick, and then they go to that home stance. I like to call that home defense. So that's why as new students, no, we don't want you to fight like this all the time, but we want you to practice it, because then when you're in trouble and you need to go defense, your body's going to tell you what to do. You're going to go, oh man, I got to block. And your hands will go right there in the right spot to be able to block yourself from those powerful techniques. So beginners, I like to say have your hands here. Now, intermediate fighters, that's where your hand comes out a little bit. This hand comes back in front of your heart or in front of your chin, this should be where everybody's goal to fight from here. More advanced fighters, you can see they'll bring their hand down. This is usually because black belts are tricksters and stuff. So we like to bring our hand down so someone could try to guess, can they make it through my defense before I could bring it up? So those advanced students will bring them down low, but you will notice this hand will still be in this area when this hand comes down. So when you guys are sparring and you're getting comfortable with being able to block techniques or whatever, then you can bring your hands down when you build those reflexes. So I like to say beginners, intermediate, advanced, okay? And then of course, our feet are always neutral and we're always ready. And then like we talked about in the other video, our bounce is neutral. Our bounce is on even weight on both legs to move in our bounce. So that's what our basic fighting position should look like, where our hands should be, where our body should be. And then once you get that, then you can go into your movement, into your bouncing, which we're gonna cover in our other videos.